Henry Staunton, the post office chairman who was sacked by Kemi Badenoch, who was irritated about that process, has now been found to have been racist and sexist. He made discriminatory remarks on the grounds of race and sex, and talking about people. Well, she doesn't look very coloured to me. Where does she come from? And making distinctions between girls and ladies and people being a pain in the, well, backside. And, in so many ways, his remarks can be dismissed as trite. But of course, he is supposed to be the CEO of a major company that was in difficulty. And so his behaviour should have reflected that position. And the investigation found allegations of potential wrongdoing, bullying, and sexist behaviour made by Jane Davies, a former chief people officer at the post office, against executive Nick Reed, and to a lesser extent against Mr. Staunton. So it's a nest of vipers down there, and yet at the same time, the people who find themselves in prison are the innocents, are the postmasters and postmistresses, and trying to claw back some sort of dignity, trying to claw back a proper, meaningful apology, a refund, compensation, and a genuine exoneration seems to be so difficult. It's months now since the screening of Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, and still the nonsense drags on. It seems impossible for our present government to take control of the situation, close down the current version of the post office, get rid of all these bureaucrats, ensure that none of them are on any sort of pension, ensure that the postmasters and postmistresses are properly refunded for the money that they had to produce to put their hands in their pocket and deliver money to the post office. That should be refunded, and then we should have compensation. Instead, we've got airy persiflage about compensation, which jumbles all that together so that nobody quite knows what is compensation, what is a refund, and what is exoneration, and yet at the same time, these characters who have bullied and abused individuals so successfully continue to lord it over the system and continue to be given a voice, which is even worse. I've attended the post office inquiry. I've sat and watched. I've sat in astonishment at the pantomime that is given to us, the second-rate, underfunded pantomime in an office which is designed, which can be rented out to anybody. It's not a proper site for a proper, genuine investigation. It might look okay on television, but the television only captures a very small area. There's columns all the way down the room, because that room is expected to be divided into office space. Of course, nobody's using office space in London because people realise that they might as well do their ridiculous bureaucracy at home rather than go in to an office and put in the time there. It's unnecessary because it's not important. It's just making money for the big boys. A change needs to happen.